Bear with me one sec. I see a lot of y'all is sub to the channel, so if you new and you listening to this video, my job is to wake you up to the deception that's going on and try to open your eyes to the book and to the real message that God is saying in these scriptures. Again, I am not a great speaker. I have a hard time articulating my words. So I'm gonna try to slow it down. Another thing, I don't like making long videos. I feel like when I make long videos, people lose interest. So I like to get straight to the point. Now, with this video, two things I want to talk about the most is this: debt, debt mostly, and generational wealth. I feel like when it comes to the so-called black community, we don't speak about these two things. We mismanage money heavily. We do too much spending than we do buying, far as owning. We rent too much instead of owning, right? About a week ago, I had a coworker. He was talking about how it's always white people out and about. I don't know if y'all ever noticed this. Not even just white people, but Chaldeans, and other nationalities. They always out and about, especially early in the mornings and stuff, or in the afternoons, and they always shopping. Excuse me. And I explained to him they have this thing called generational wealth, which means is that their parents worked, right? Because this is not a bad thing. Their parents worked and build up financial income, stability, and that with that generational wealth, they passed it down to their children, which means that their children get to go to the good schools. Their children don't have to work as hard. Their children is able to buy nice things, right? Because their parents work towards it. When it comes to us in our community, we don't do these things. We don't. We don't look at stuff like life insurance, which is important, right? We don't look at owning a house. When you own a house, eventually that child of yours takes it over. That's the beauty of owning a house. That means that your child eventually doesn't have to worry about, renting or living out on the street because you have a house for them. Y'all get what I'm saying? But I want to talk about debt though. You know, I was $15,000 in debt, and I don't really like talking about it because it affects my pocket still to this day. I was $15,000 in debt. Now I'm down to about 5,000. And it got so bad to the point that they garnish my taxes. They take my taxes away from me. And I have to pay these people because it was took to court. I have to pay these people about $500 a month. All right. Because when I was younger, I got a loan from the bank. And this is why I say be careful with credit cards and stuff like that. I got a loan worth 10 grand. How did I blow through that 10 grand? You know, Not investing my money properly, being ignorant, being prideful, wanting to have the nice things, wanting to buy things just so I can show them off to people, even though I didn't necessarily need it. You know what I'm saying? Another thing as well, looking out for family and stuff. And that's what this video is about as well, too. Looking out for family, stuff like that. Entertaining whores. That's another thing. entertaining whores. Proverbs 22 and 7, the rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is the slave to the lender. This right here is nothing but the truth because I have to work so hard and do lots of overtime, right? Just so I can live comfortably and safe. But at the same time, I have to pay these people back. So I'm working for these people. And it takes a toll on you. Example, these cash advance places too. They really nothing but traps because they charge crazy amount of interest. You know what I'm saying? So these cash advances and stuff, they charge you these crazy amounts of interest and stuff, right? Which makes it harder for you to pay them back. And then on top of that, they know you're gonna come back around and ask for the money again. Hold on, y'all. Deuteronomy 23 and 19. Do not charge a fellow Israelite interest, whether on money or food or anything else that they may earn interest. You know, this is important when it comes to our community, and this is what God expects us to do, the God of Israel. He expects us to look out for one another. You know, a lot of y'all get on your knees praying to God, which is not a bad thing, right? But a lot of y'all get on your knees praying to God, asking God to do this and do that. Sometimes God is telling you to look within yourself and to look out for your people, right? So it's been times where I needed some money, right? Back in the day, needed some money. Asked family and friends to help me out. When you gonna pay me back? When you gonna pay me back? They know you struggling, right? But when you gonna pay me back? I need this. I need this. Let's go to Exodus 22 and 25 real quick. If you lend money to one of my people among you who is poor, you must not act as a creditor to him. You are not allowed to charge him interest. Some of your own family members charge interest for loaning you money. They act like a creditor towards you. How come we as a people, right? If we know somebody is struggling, why we can't just loan them a few dollars and say, look, you don't have to worry about paying me back. You know, just get back on your feet. Because then that person will remember, hopefully, that person will remember all the good things that you did for them. And when they back on their feet, they will remember that and look out for you. But we don't really do that in our community. Just like in Leviticus 25 and 35. You get what I'm saying? You supposed to look out for your people, even foreigners. This is another thing too, right? This is another thing. This is why, you know, a lot of y'all might feel like I'm racist, but I'm really not. You know, I speak the truth. There are a lot of people out here struggling. It ain't just black people. It's not just black people. It's white people. It's African people. You know, it's Indian people. You know what I'm saying? When somebody is down and struggling, you're supposed to look out for that person. You get what I'm saying? Even God talks about how, you know, let's say you got a brother and your brother is struggling real bad, right? He ain't got no place to go. He ain't got nowhere to lay his head. You as his brother, his blood brother, you supposed to open up your home for him to live so he can get back on his feet. But a lot of y'all don't do that. My bad if I hear noise in the background. You know what I'm saying? This is the type of stuff that the God of heaven wants us, especially black man, the men of Judah, to start doing, to start looking out for one another. It's the holiday. It's getting cold out. Y'all see these people out on the street struggling, no place to lay their head. If you got money, bro, and I've done this before, I spoke about this in my video a couple of years ago, how this poor guy came into my job and he didn't have nowhere to go. So I ended up getting him a room and stuff because it was real cold. And that was really the God of Israel telling me to do that. And the reason I say this is this, right? This guy came across 100 people that day. That day, right? Because this is the story he told me. He said that he fell asleep on the bus, and when he woke up at the stop, something told him to come into this particular place where I was working at, right? This was God. This might sound crazy. So pause. But no, seriously though, this was God leading him to me because pause. He knew I was gonna give him that room. Straight up. So when they say that, the God of Israel works in mysterious ways, he really does, yo. He really does. Because he knew I was gonna look out because I really care about my people. I might not show it all the time, but I really care about my people. So look, you know, I hope you all enjoy this video. I'm out.